Hey everyone, is anybody out there paying attention to the Google antitrust hearings? If you do SEO, this is something you want to hear. There's an article that came out in Wired, thanks to my good friend Carolyn, that tipped me off to read it. The title of the article is on wired.com and it's titled, How Google Alters Search Queries to Get at Your Wallet. The article was written by Megan Gray. She is the founder of Gray Matters Law and Policy. She is one of the spectators at the mostly closed Google antitrust hearings. She described it as, while certain slides are placed on the projector, she only has a matter of minutes to jot down notes before it's pulled off. During one of Google's employee testimonies, a key exhibit momentarily flashed on the projector, and it was called Project Mercury. Now, Megan Gray described Project Mercury as Google using it to produce more advertising revenue for their business. Now, a lot of us will roll our eyes and say, yes, we already knew that, but listen to how she describes Project Mercury. I think it's very important for SEO purposes. So the slide that she described has to do with semantic matching and how it's being overhauled in the SERPs. When you enter a query, you might expect a search engine to incorporate synonyms into the algo, as well as text phrase pairings and natural language processing. But Project Mercury goes a lot further than that and alters queries to generate more commercial results. Now, I said alters queries. So on the back end, Google is altering our query so that it's able to pop up more ad space or more ad revenue so that Google earns more money from the ad space. So if we type in something that's not commercial or going to pop up ad space, Google on the back end will alter that query so that it can show the ad space and then they get the money if we click the links. She estimates that Google likely alters queries billions of times a day in trillions of different variations. And she gave us an example of how it works. You might search for something like children's clothing or women's sweaters. Google on the back end will convert that query to a different query. Say, for instance, brand name kids wear instead of children's clothing. It will convert it to a certain brand name kids wear, making a behind the scenes substitution of your actual query with a different query that just happens to generate more money for Google. Now, with this being exposed during the antitrust hearings, it comes into question how many of these queries are they doing it. I'm sure they're also doing this in local. They're doing this with our affiliate terms that we are going after. This is not something that we are aware of, nor are the advertisers have been aware of this. And it's nothing that you can opt out of. So it's all happening behind the scenes, behind our backs, without any of our knowledge. You type in a query, you have no idea that Google's converting that query to something else so that ad space will pop up and they produce more money. She summarized that why would Google do this? There's a couple of reasons. The number one reason was to produce more ad money for particular stores. And you can stretch this a bit further. It can also produce more ad money in local spaces and for affiliate or e-com type terms. It's also showing us things within the ads that help us make decisions that we don't even know they're helping us make. Perhaps we were looking for children's clothing. It pops up a certain brand we didn't know, and now we're more influenced to buy that particular brand. So not only are they creating more ad revenue, but they're also helping us make decisions with purchases. So Google is using Project Mercury to just completely delete queries and replace them with the ones that monetize better. This has so many different implications, and what other projects besides Project Mercury do we not know about? I'm sure there is a ton. It makes you wonder, how many times a day does Google do this, and have your sites ever been affected by Project Mercury? Google has been able to get away with a lot of this because they have captured so much of the market. Project Mercury caught my attention because it does have SEO implications, and this is something we need to be aware of. Be sure to go check out the article yourself over at wired.com. And as things come up in the Google antitrust hearings that have implications on or for SEO, I'm going to talk about it over here.